Hello everyone, it's Joey here. I am recording this a little later after we made the main podcast for today, which you'll hear in a moment. Just to say that about 20-30 minutes after we recorded the main podcast today, some news was announced by Indila News on Twitter that Indila is apparently going to do an international tour at the end of this year, and that the second album is ready and that it will be released this year. This information comes from a journalist who works for Le Parisien, and he seems to be quite close to Skalpevich, I think. So hopefully, this is very secure information, and it's certainly a great sign. I also wanted to say, because I forgot when we were making the recording, it was a very special person's birthday last week. A very special dreamer, very important to many of us. So, happy birthday, Jelen. Now to the main episode.
Welcome to the Indila podcast. This is Rain.
And this is Joey. Well, it has been a very exciting last week for us because since we made episode 6 last week, we've had some news about Indila, thanks to a great Twitter account called Indila News. Somebody sent her some very little videos of Indila filming at the bridge of Bir Hakeim in Paris, very close to the Eiffel Tower. And we see her in a pink dress, and we hear just a little segment of a new song.
Yes. And there's another snippet from the clip. I mean, I hope it's a clip. And it's where she's riding the horse. I think it's not her. It's not. It's just a stunt made from another person. But she's just riding it all over the bridge. I think it's the bridge that she was under of the other video. And people were just tweeting about it. It's like, am I crazy or is it just Indila riding a horse in the middle of Paris? And yeah, it was her, thankfully.
Yeah. And when I first saw it, the video, I thought it really was her riding a horse because we're going to talk a little bit about the dangers she puts herself through when she's filming. You know, she has fallen off icebergs. So she's cycled without a helmet in Garde l'Équilibre. So I thought, yeah, maybe it really is her on this horse. But yeah, it's a lookalike. But still, it definitely seems like she's making a clip.
I remember a year ago there was another photo that was released, and I think she was wearing glasses, and they were just filming something inside of a castle or like a big library. I wonder if they're the same thing or just they're just going to be like separate music videos.
Hmm. Yeah, I wonder if that I haven't considered that they could be the same thing. It possibly, yeah.
Today we will be talking about the love story song and clip.
And this one is kind of special to me because
Hmm.
I have a weird story with it. I actually saw the filming. But I think we should start with you, Rain, because you were already a fan at this point. And
Yes.
I think you mentioned before that you maybe remember when Last Story was released. Do you remember what your first impressions of the clip were?
I think it has one of the best productions compared to the other clips of the Mini World era. And I don't actually remember the time I watched it because I was still trying to digest other songs and clips from the album. But I remember being really impressed because of, the just, I production that I just mentioned. And I mean, I really find it beautiful that how she tries to film everything in different locations. It's not just Paris. It's She has been to Greece. It was like Dernedons. It was in France, and Tronedonnemit was it in?
It was near Paris.
Yes.
Mhm.
And then she just started like climbing up from there. Like she went to Greece, and in this case, it's Iceland, right?
Yes.
Iceland, yes. And the clip itself, it's really pretty. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think particularly the fall clips for Mini World, they almost represent the seasons. Like you've got Dernière Danse, which is like the rain and kind of dark, stormy weather. That's maybe like I don't know, like a spring or an autumn. You've got SOS, which is clearly summer. It's on a beach. It's very hot. Lastoy, clearly winter. And Torch Nid maybe doesn't quite work, but it's, it's similar. And you've got,
It's so
yeah, different locations as well. Like Torch Nid is mostly inside. Denerdance is outside, but in a city and a park. SOS is in many places, but on a beach. And Lastoy is like on a
it's so
glacier.
on the
Yeah,
ice cube.
exactly. On an ice cube. Um, but yes, snow was kind of the thing that was missing from Indila at that point, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I find it very difficult to kind of step back and be objective about it because, well, I guess I should say my story with this clip. So
Yeah.
as I've already said on the podcast, I first listened to Indila in 2015 with Dernière Danse. And then I became a fan in 2016, started learning French and using her music to learn French. And then in 2017, I started being like a more active fan. Like I joined the Dreamers, I guess. And at some point in 2017, I I think I read somewhere. No, it was. I thought one day. I thought, ah. Love Story. That's kind of familiar, that clip, because when I was in Iceland, I saw a filming, and then I looked it up, like where was Love Story filmed, and it said Canada. It was just an unreliable website. It said Canada, so I thought, okay, fine, forget about that. And then another time I started to look into it more. So if we go back to before I was a fan of Indila in 2014. I was still in school and I was on a school trip, a geography school trip to Iceland. I know that that sounds amazing for many people in different countries. Like, how do you go on a school trip to a different country? We're very lucky in the UK. And so I had this opportunity to go to Iceland in Northwest Europe. And we were like studying about the rocks and the volcanoes and the uh, tectonic plates. And we visited an ice lagoon. And it was already a famous place for filming. Like the tour guides told us that there was a James Bond film that was made there. And because I kind of liked James Bond, I thought, oh, that's cool. And we took a boat out onto the lake. And it was beautiful. We saw all of the like the huge icebergs and the light of the sun. It was well, maybe not sun, but it was bright. The light was on the water and on the ice. And then after that, just a small group of us, like a few friends and me, I think, went just a little bit round the side of a hill and we were up a bank and we looked down and we saw a music video being made. It was clearly a music video, and it was clearly like, I think I knew it was a European artist, but I don't remember knowing that it was French. And I didn't really think any more about it for 3 years.
Can you talk more about the process, like the process of finding out? Because
Mhm.
you mentioned your trip. Because I want the listeners to know about the time you have realized that it was actually Indila.
Yes. So, so, 3 years later, I thought one day, oh, maybe I saw Indila at filming Love Story. Maybe it was her. Because I was thinking a lot about Indila because I was now a big fan. So I looked it up and I read Canada. So I thought, okay, fine, it's not that. And then a few weeks later, I was now even more of a very big fan. And I was trying to study everything in all her music videos. And I was watching last day and I saw the blue ship by where the two lovers are. And it has a number on the side of it. It's GR7/519.
Okay.
And I thought, I'll just look that up, see, because I didn't think it was Iceland, but I just wanted to know about if I can find the ship anywhere. I looked it up and it said Reykjavik, the capital of Iceland. Um, so I thought, wait, what? Like, I knew that this video was released in November 2014. I knew that I had been in Iceland in October, so I thought maybe it matches. So I spoke to my friend Nicoletta about it, who introduced me to Indila. And then we saw in the bedroom of the child at the beginning of the clip,
Mhm.
he has a toy box and there's some writing on there. And we weren't sure what language it was, but we thought maybe it's Icelandic. Anyway, then I looked up I think it was like a photography company who were involved in making the music video. And I messaged them. There was like here's our website. Please contact us for any questions. So I thought, okay, I'll give it a try. So I said, do you have any information about the Love Story video? Do you know exactly the dates that it was filmed? And to my surprise, he got back to me like within an hour with photos. And he said the dates that they were doing it, and it matched up to when I was in Iceland because I remembered I was there on the 24th of October, 2014 at that lake. And then I also started searching photos on Facebook from my school friends who I wasn't really in contact with anymore. And then I found a post from the guy I was with, and it's a picture of Indila saying, "This is some French pop star. We don't know who she is." And I thought, "Oh my God!" It was so crazy. And I remember it very well. It was the 7th of October 2017 when I discovered this. I had just moved to Bristol, starting university like a week before, and I just it was absolutely crazy. Like I couldn't believe it, and I still can't really believe it.
I actually like I'm someone that doesn't care about coincidence that much, think they're irrelevant, but I don't think this is a coincidence. I feel like you have planned it in some way.
I mean, of course, it is a coincidence,
Yeah.
but I do remember thinking like, it's a coincidence, obviously. Like it hasn't, it's not actually fate, but if I choose to think of it like it's fate, that might help me in the future. So I kind of chose to try to believe that it was meant to happen because it would then give me encouragement that I would meet Indila, which was, of course, all I wanted to do at that time.
And it still happened. And
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
it came true.
Yeah. But it was just so crazy. Like at that time, the one person who I really wanted to meet more than anyone else was Indila. But she lives in France. I live in the UK. It's not likely that we'd just bump into each other on the street. But actually, it kind of did happen, but even further away in Iceland.
Do you have any information about, the old man that was walking? I think it was a graveyard. I don't remember it well. Do you have any information about that? Is it in France or somewhere else?
It's in Iceland. I know I have not been there, but it's in Reykjavik in
Mm.
Iceland. So all of it was filmed in Iceland. So the house that the letter flies into,
Mhm.
that's a you can see it on the music video. It's a place called Barugata. Gata means street, so it's like Baru Street. And then there is a famous church in Iceland. It's a kind of weird architecture. I visited that when I was there, and you can see that in the background, where you've got this, where there's the scenes with the two lovers by the ship. You can see the church in the background, and close to the church is the graveyard. And this is not my information. This is information discovered by a dreamer called Vitali.
Italy, yes.
Do you remember him?
I remember talking to
Mhm.
him. I actually don't remember anything about him specifically.
So he was a Ukrainian dreamer, and he was very clever at kind of trying to get like secret background information about things. And he read the names in one of the graves, which is visible in the clip. And it is the grave belonging to somebody called Thor Philip Axel Jansen, who was the richest man in Iceland at one point, apparently. 200 years ago.
Mhm.
And but yes, the graveyard is quite big. Mhm. And the name of the actor is the old man is Jörmundur Ingi Hansen. I can't remember how I know it, but there we are. And the man, like the very good-looking sailor, he's called Aron Christensen. And I know this because his mother tweeted about him once, saying, "This is my son," and there's a um and I should just also say, so most of it I think was filmed in Reykjavik, but the scene with the lagoon, the ice lagoon where I met her,
Mhm.
where I saw her, that's far away. That's more to the east of the country in a place called Jökulsárlón.
Speaking of ice lagoons, do you remember that you mentioned to me once that she fell out of that? I think I maybe that was her that she I think she talked about this in somewhere else. I think in like Par la tête era where she talked about this. Is it right?
That's absolutely right. Yeah. Um, when she started doing interviews again after
That
Balatatat
interview,
was released.
like yellow background. Okay,
Yes,
or the blue one. I'm not sure.
I think it's the one where she's wearing pink,
Pink.
like
Yeah.
bright pink, but where she talks about Rosalia.
Yes.
The but I'm not sure because I think I remember watching this on the train when it was released and I was traveling through London. But yeah, so when Indila returned with Balatatat, she did quite a few interviews and she spoke about, yeah, she fell in the water, which to be honest is not surprising because when you look, she's standing on a tiny bit of ice.
And she's on heels.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so yeah, apparently she fell, and I'm sure it was extremely cold, but they got her out and, made her warm. And yeah, I think she's very, very brave and very hardworking for all her music videos. Like she takes risks. I should also say that at the time when I discovered this, that I'd met Indira, Last Story had 80 million views on YouTube after
Mhm.
3 years. Now, after 10 years, it has, I haven't even checked, it's more than 400. It's just more than 400 million views. So it's been really popular in recent years.
I think it's really popular now too, because the songs that her popularized, I think they come in waves. Because there's some phases where a song is popular. Like I think now "Love Story" is the most listened Indila song ever, and before that, I think it was "Ansi Bella Vida."
Mhm.
And and this is not the first time "Love Story" being popular. I think this is like the fifth time
Yeah.
I have seen like lots of edits of Love Story on TikTok or in other kind of social media.
Yeah, I think you're right. It comes in waves. Like it's increasing its views faster than Torch Don't Levids on YouTube at the moment. So Danny Achterons is still ahead of everything. Like even not just the total number, but the
Yeah.
increase is still faster than all others. But yeah.
I think it's Darnedons is the most stably increasing one,
Hmm.
especially SOS. I think SOS is really popular now too. I think there's some remix of SOS that's really popular now, so people are just finding about it.
Maybe SOS used to be the second most viewed of the four YouTube videos. Like it used to be Danny Achterons, SOS, Torch Don't Levid, Last Story, and now it's Danny Achterons, Torch Don't Levid, Last Story, SOS. If I checked right now, the most viewed French songs just in the last 24 hours, number one is Dernière Danse still, with 360,000 views on YouTube. And number four is Love Story with 227,000. And number 10 is Tourne dans le vide with 150,000. And that's all French songs, like even ones that are,
Not
well,
even in France, like are all around the world.
yeah, exactly. And even ones that are currently like making a buzz, any that are in the top 100 most viewed, this is, how they are. So Dernière Danse is still on top, which is amazing. So also in November 2014, Indila started, I think after the summer, she was not doing so much like interviews and promotion, but she started doing a lot again around November, December 2014 because of the release of the deluxe version of Mini World. And she came to Turkey for a third time.
Yes. Was it Antalya this time?
Yeah, Antalya. And sadly again, you missed it.
Yes. For the third time.
Fourth time lucky.
I mean, I hope she does it in US. So,
Yeah, yes.
I mean, she has never done it, right? Like in northern or south.
Just Canada.
Oh yeah, there was.
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember Canada.
Yeah. Yeah, so she went to Antalya. She also did a show in Bucharest, in Romania. And this was one of the few concerts which was in full on YouTube. And so you can, she sings Ran Ran, she sings like the medley of all of her songs before Mini World. And she speaks in English, which is very cute. And there was also the Energy Music Awards, which takes place at the end of the year in December 2014. And she did this version of Dernière Danse that we've spoken about before, where like it's amazing choreography. She's dancing the whole time and like acting on
And
stage.
there's this breakdown, right? Like a bit techno, electronic breakdown, and there was like lots of lightings and
Yeah.
crazy stuff going on.
And I mean, it's clear to me that obviously she wasn't actually singing, like she was lip syncing. Because if she was singing, like you're just hear her being out of breath the whole time. I mean, she's doing things that it's impossible to sing while doing.
Well,
But
I thought she was using like back what's the word for that? Backing vocals. Like there was like five layers of like I'm just making this up, like maybe a few layers of backing vocals and she was just like singing on the top. Like that's what I thought.
maybe it's possible. I remember she was criticized a lot for it, like people saying
She's lip syncing. This is not singing. I
exactly.
hate her.
And I thought that's just so ridiculous. Like she's dancing basically. I mean, you don't normally expect dancers.
Why is she popular? I don't get it. She's so bad.
Exactly. Um, I mean, I guess it's one of the few times that she's really been criticized, but
Mhm.
yeah, it was sad. Um,
Well, it was legendary, so I don't mind the bad comments.
it was so legendary, yeah. Very sadly, the full quality video has been deleted from YouTube. Our friend Good Kim used to have a video of it on YouTube, but
Mhm.
his one is also deleted. Um, but there is still a way to watch it on Instagram. Um, Habiba, our friend, uh, uploaded it to Instagram a few years ago. The quality is not HD, but that's at least is a way to listen.
I think Habiba has like one of the biggest Indila um like library. I would say like it's huge. Like she has everything. I think the first there's some like top three dreamers that includes you, and like she's like on the top five.
Yeah, I
Talking
think
about like knowing all of the things about her wise.
yeah, she was definitely really, really like interested to know everything, like to learn when a particular there's a photo of Indila wearing a particular outfit, so she wanted to find out the concert that it was from and to find new photos. And yeah, she has this account called Indila Clips, I think it's called on Instagram.
Mhm.
And if you go there, you can see many, many, many of videos of Indila's shows.
Go check that out.
Check that out. Yeah. Well, now we have a little interview with Kumsal, who is a Turkish dreamer and a friend of many of ours, known to many dreamers. So I hope you enjoy what Kumsal has to say. How did you discover Indila?
İlkokulda arkadaşımın doğum günündeydim. Doğum günü için evine gitmiştik. Televizyonda Derneğe Dans klibi çalıyordu. İlk Indila'yı orada keşfettim. I was in elementary school and I was at my friend's birthday party. There was definitely a dance music video playing on the TV. That's how I was introduced to her music.
You created a very beautiful Instagram account for Indila in 2019. Uh, when did you open it and why?
Hatırlıyorum. 2019 Temmuz ayıydı. Arkadaşım sayesinde açtım hesabı. Ve iyi ki de açmışım. Nedeni Indila'ya hayran olmam. Indila'yı sevmem. I remember. It was July 2019. I opened up my page thanks to my friend, and I'm glad I did. The reason I did was that I was such a huge fan of her and that I loved her so much.
How did you feel when Indila came back with Balladadet?
Indila Paletet ile geri döndüğünde çok mutlu oldum. Duygulandım. Ve o anki hissim yani hiçbir zaman unutamayacağım bir his açıkçası. Şarkı çok güzel. Klibi zaten heyecanla bekliyordum. Çok mutlu olmuştum. When Indila came back with Parle à ta tête, I was so happy and emotional. To be honest, it was a feeling that I will never be able to forget. The song was amazing, and I was excitedly waiting for the clip. I was so happy.
How did you feel when Carousel was released?
Carousel ile nasıl hissettim? Çok mutlu oldum. Gerçekten de yani Indira bir aradan sonra geri dönüyor ve bir şarkı ile geri dönüyor. Bu beni çok mutlu etmişti. Yani heyecanla Carousel şarkısının ve klibinin tabii ki çıkmasını beklemiştim. What do I feel about Carousel? The way she made a comeback with the song made me really happy. I was waiting for the release of the song and the clip with excitement.
If you could send a message to Indila, what would you say?
Onu çok sevdiğimi söylerdim. Kliplerinin ve şarkılarının çok güzel olduğunu söylerdim. I would tell her that I love her so much. I would tell her that her music and her music videos are so beautifully made.
And what is your favorite song?
En sevdiğim şarkı Parle à Tête.
My favorite song is Parle à ta tête.
Thank you very much for listening today. Next episode, we are going to be talking about 2015 and Indila's shows in the Czech Republic, in Serbia, in Tunisia.
And we will be talking about her next collaboration, which is Garder l'équipe with H Magnum. And I think that's it.
Yeah, because after that, she announced a pause from the media. So after that, in the future episodes, we'll be focusing a lot on the Dreamers and then on the return. But
And I'm really interested about talking about the Dreamers
me too.
2017 era of ours.
That's when we take over the story.
Thank you so much for listening and see you on next episode.
Thank you very much for listening. See you next week. Bye bye.
Bye.